Now, the rest of the story. Henry McCarty. He was a likable young man. In fact, some said he was the nicest boy in town. He didn't have the airs of a city boy, they said, though indeed he had been born in New York City. Neither did he seem the product of a broken home, although indeed his father had disappeared and his mother had remarried when Henry was 13. Immediately thereafter, the family moved west. 18 months later, Henry's mother was dead of tuberculosis. Henry is still 14. He might have grown rebellious and irresponsible, but no, he got a job waiting tables and washing dishes at a local hotel, and he worked hard. In fact, the owner of the establishment later publicly applauded Henry as the only boy who ever worked there who never stole anything. Henry McCarty was the nicest boy in town, one of those rare exceptions who seemed never to require discipline, except one time. And that's the rest of the story. One night, Henry was in the company of a friend when the two boys were approached by the town rascal, a prankster named George Schaefer. George was laughing to beat the band. When Henry and his friend asked what was so funny, George answered he just played a wonderful joke on the Chinaman who ran the laundry. George, had swiped a tremendous bundle of clean wash and was preparing to hide it somewhere. Now, it was not exactly clear who convinced whom of what, but the fact remains that at some point, Henry and his friend were either coerced or freely offered to hide the bundle of laundry which George had stolen, and they did. And guess who got caught? The nicest boy in town. The reason we don't even know the name of Henry's friend and accomplice is that Henry refused to name him. Henry accepted the responsibility all by himself. That's where the town sheriff came in, Sheriff Harvey Whitehill. He knew 15-year-old Henry, and history suggests he was much concerned that the nicest boy in town should stay that way. So despite the comparative innocence of Henry's participation in the laundry bag prank, Sheriff Whitehill arrested the boy, put him in jail, to teach him a lesson. Sheriff Whitehill even hinted to Henry that a grand jury indictment was inevitable. Well, the lesson went too far. For Henry, envisioning his own stepfather's displeasure, seeing himself disgraced and imprisoned, decided the only solution to his problem was to escape. And he did. He crawled right out through the jailhouse chimney and fled. And that, it is said, was the end of the nicest boy in Silver City, New Mexico, and the beginning of the baddest boy who ever lived. I will not presume to say whether such a dramatic transformation is psychologically credible. We're going to have to leave that to the psychologists. Remaining to be pondered is the history conscientiously gleaned from the lips of those who lived with him and who professed to know him well. This good boy who ran away one day lived to kill 21 men, they say, before being gunned down himself at the age of 21, having exhausted a bandolero load of bullets and an arm's-length list of aliases. Over the years, he called himself many things, but most notable among the names which followed him was the name Billy the Kid. And now you know the rest of the story.